Good afternoon, everyone. This is the latest update on the saga of Chuck's trailer. I guess this will be part one, and I don't know how many parts it'll eventually be. But we had a little bit of a setback. Maybe it'll show here. I think I can get the light just right. If you can see, if it'll focus up. See right there in that hub? Let me see if I can get it. Can it focus? You can still see it, I think, even though it's not quite in focus. There it goes. See that crack? Yeah, it's about as long, maybe even slightly longer on the inside part. So this is one of the two hubs. So now I'm ordering two new hubs. I was thinking I was going to put the bearings in these ones, and change the races out and be all done with it, but then that caught my eye, and good thing it did too. I had kind of a suspicion that something was going on because the one hub that had the dust cover still in place had a lot more corrosion inside than I expected it to, because the seal was good on the inside part, and then on the outside part the dust cap was on, but yet it seemed to me that it had as much or more corrosion in places than the other one that had lost the dust cap, and that's why, with that little crack in there and being out in the weather and moisture getting in and stuff like that. So two new hubs are coming, and the nice thing about the new style hubs is they will actually have the threaded studs here. So I'll just go to the same kind of lug nuts like they have on cars. A lot of people do actually change this around. They put a threaded piece in there and then switch to standard lug nuts. But yeah, I'm ordering two anyway because this is 30 years old, and so even though the other one isn't cracked yet, I imagine, 30 years is a lot of stress. But the funny thing is, I just gotten done doing this. I got both sets of bearings, both sets of races in it, and the dust cap on, and I'm thinking one more to go and I'll be done. But no, I couldn't do that one, the first one. I had to do that one, the second one, where it had the crack in it. But I don't know. Main thing is that I caught it. So I wanted to give you guys an update on why I think the stress happened and how it happened. So here's the pieces again to show you. These are the main support pieces where these are actually connected to either end of the spring. One connection is here, the front connection, and then down here is the back connection. You notice it's up front where it's bent, but it's bent slightly behind that support, and it's also kind of crushed in. So it had a lot of force pushing it down from the front. So let me give you a diagram of the way the trailer works, and maybe I can get it so you can understand it. But this trailer is not designed to really carry motorcycles. It'll do that, but it's more designed to carry like 4x8 sheets of plywood, or just pieces of wood and building materials and stuff like that. So here's a view of the trailer. There's the front with the tongue and the connection to the ball. There's the leaf spring and the axle. I didn't draw the tire in so that you can see a little bit better. Here's the two pieces of the trailer and the hinge that it folds on. So in other words, if you want to fold it, you flip this up and over, and then you stand the trailer up, and it's got little caster wheels you can put on it too and store it in your garage. And even this part flips down for storage too. But let's just look at the way this is right now. When this is sitting here, it's attached to a car, so this is pretty much rock solid when it's attached to a car. And then what I do is I put a ramp on here and then load the motorcycle up, and I usually have somebody helping me, so it's usually a two-person project, and during part of that time we're pushing the motorcycle up the ramp. We're hitting this back part of the trailer with the entire weight of the motorcycle, which can be 500 or 600 pounds, plus two adults. So that's getting up to 900, almost 1,000, probably in some cases 1,000 pounds just on this part right here. So I naturally thought that this would be your weak point and the back would be all bent up right here. Well, no, it didn't. Evidently, this whole thing right here acted like a giant, what would you call it? Just, like a teeter-totter and everything like that. The fulcrum, or no, this is the fulcrum here. It acted just like a giant lever. And the fulcrum part was right here, and since this part can't really give because it's got a bolt strengthening it, the weakest part in this area would be right behind this part here where the metal isn't supported at all. So with this giant lever pressing down on it, it finally just had to give here. And I also see evidence on these pieces too. I showed you on the last video. You could see the bent parts here, and it's bent down a little bit, and it's kind of slightly collapsed inward like that, like it was bent down with a lot of torque. So that's my idea, that in the future, to solve that problem is, from now on when I'm using this to load motorcycles, I need some kind of a flip down jack stand, or I could carry on a portable jack stand too and support this against the ground so that this part does not give at all. So I've got to either go to an adjustable jack stand that I can put underneath this depending on how level the ground is and everything like that, or have some kind of a swing down device that comes down in the back of the trailer, which also means that these pieces right here are made out of pretty thin sheet metal, so they don't carry a lot of they can't carry a lot of weight by themselves anyway, and they've even demonstrated that by some of them bending. So what I'm going to do is take L channel or C channel, whatever I can pick up, and the piece that's going this way in and out, the whole back piece, I'm going to reinforce that so that it's real thick and strong, so that when somebody's standing on here, it can take that temporary weight of almost 1,000 pounds pushing down and not have this really flex or bend. I mean, it did a lot. I mean, for this to flex and bend, and for none of this right here to be damaged whatsoever, this was really taking a lot of stress too. But the give point happened to be right here, just behind where the spring was mounted, where it just, that was the point where all the force was concentrated enough that it had to give. So anyway, that's my explanation of what happened with the trailer. And the trailers, I looked on the hub, and the hub is dated 1989. The hub actually has a manufacturer date on it. So this trailer next year, if it's still running, I'm putting it apart piece by piece. It may be a whole new trailer. That song Johnny Cash did, one piece at a time. One piece at a time, this may be a new trailer. But the original trailer, I think, was purchased in 1989. I thought somewhere around 85, but according to that, I mean, they wouldn't post-date it like that. So I guess this trailer is vintage 1989 New Way trailer. So anyway, look for update part 2 when I get the new hubs in, which should be in about 6 days. They said to come around July 26th. So when I get the new hubs in and start working on them, will be my next update on the trailer, most likely. Maybe something before, but probably not. So catch you guys later.